Welcome to Wattage Wednesday. Today we're going to see how much wattage this egg incubator uses. Let's get started. So in this incubator we have the heater control. You can see the red light, it's heating right now. It also has an egg rotator in here, so there's a little motor that's constantly running that rocks the eggs back and forth, so that rotates them 6 times a day. And then there's also a little fan right here in the middle that just helps circulating the air on the inside. So I'll show you what I have on the meter, but I'll mention to you on the box it said this was 40 watts. It doesn't say on the unit. So what I also just checked was on the motor that rotates the eggs back and forth, it says it's 4 watts. And on the motor for the fan, it also says it's 4 watts. So let's see what we're getting on the watt meter. So watch till the end and I'll show you the inside components. So the ideal temperature is 99.5 degrees. And the humidity we can adjust. It's supposed to be between, I've seen different reports, between 40 and 50 and between 50 and 60 during the early stages of the eggs, and then during hatching it's between 65 and 70. But there's no electronics with that. You just put water in the bottom of the styrofoam in the bottom of the container. So you can see the heat just turned on right now. We're using 48 watts. So the heat just turned off. So now we're using 8. So what that's telling me is the heater is 40 watts. And the other 2 items that are left are the circulating fan and the egg rotator. So each one of those says they use 4. So I can probably assume they are using 4. Heat just turned on again. It just turned off. So the heat cycles pretty frequently. So for the first 2.5 hours that I was running, I was trying to dial in the temperature so that I could get to the 99, roughly 99.5. So now that we're there, and it's not using a lot of power, so we're only at the 0.07 kilowatt hours after 2.5 hours. So I'm going to let this run for 2 hours more, and we'll see what the power usage is once we're complete. So there's going to be power used to heat this up to the original 99 degrees. Then there'll be power used to maintain it at that temperature. We'll see how much we use during the next 2 hours, and then we'll determine how much wattage we need to keep this running. So let's see what we got. We're still 99 degrees, 100, thereabouts. We're 1 hour more than we were when we last checked. We're at 1 cent total cost for the 3.5 hours, and we now have 0.09 kilowatt hours, which is 90 watt hours. So it's 20 watt hours more than what we were. Now it's 30 watt hours more than what we were an hour ago. So that's saying roughly we used 30 watt hours for this last hour. And we know between the heater, the tilting of the trays, and then the fan that's here, we're using 48. So we're using 30 watt hours to maintain the heat. So we'll give this 1 more hour and we'll come back. Okay, we're at 2 hours. We're still holding temperature. I could write it at 99. We started at 2:30. It's been 2 hours since I started filming. 2 cents cost. 0.12 kilowatt hours. So that's 20 more than from the last hour. So the first hour of maintaining, we just rolled over to 30 watt hours, And now we just went to 20 watt hours. So we could probably average that out to be 25 watts per hour we're using to maintain this. There's another setting on here. We go to the cost screen. It's cost per hour, 12 cents per day, 90 cents per week. And we're going to have to run this for 21 days. That's the cycle to hatch eggs. So that would be 3 weeks. So that'd be $2.70 for the 42 eggs I can get in here. $3.88 for the whole month. $47 for a whole year. We're not going to run it that long though. So let's see what's under the hood. Okay, so it's still running. So this is the heater, this band that goes around here. So that was using 40 watts. This is the little fan blade that's circulating the air. There's a little blade in there spinning. That was using 4 watts. This is the little motor that's rotating. It's a little lever here that spins around in circles. It rides up and down in the track. Moves this plate back and forth, which then tilts these one way then the other way. So in summary, I used the first 2.5 hours to dial in the temperature on the incubator, and I used 0.07 watt hours or 70 watt hours. Then I ran it for 2 hours after that, and for the total of the 2 hours we used 0.05 watt hours or 50 watt hours to maintain the temperature. So for the 21 days I could assume we will use 25 watts per hour to run this. The cost is going to be about $2.70 for the 3 weeks to raise the eggs, which isn't too bad. The power goes out. I should have enough battery banks to run this. I could run it in my trailer, but we will probably run this in our basement so I can keep an even temperature around it. If I have the even temperature around it, it should be able to maintain a better even temperature on the inside. We can monitor it easier. We'll have to make sure the humidity stays right. So if you like videos like this, subscribe up here and watch more videos down here. Have a good day.